Hello and welcome to episode 22. So we are going to tear the old base down today. I was actually going to do it first thing, but then I started filling my inventory up with stuff to unlock things. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So I've already got this one set up. Yes. Just a couple more patterns and a street light. So we'll go ahead and buy those. I've got like 3 tickets left. So I do want to get the factory cart. We'll get these eventually, but I don't care, and I don't care about the statues yet. So we'll need 10 for that. I've got everything in there. We'll get these, so we need a few more for those. I'm not going to use these two, I don't think, but you know, we'll get them eventually, and I still need one more pattern. We've got all those. We've got all of these. We've got all of these. And eventually we'll get the coffee cup. And I need 44 more coupons to buy everything else. So that's that. So let's go over to the MAM, which is what my inventory is full of. So we've already got Alien Megafauna complete. So alien technology, I need 3. So we have the computers and SAM fluctuators. I don't have Mercer spheres. I need 3 for that, which is no big deal, but I need 23 there and 23 there. So yeah, I need another 49 Mercer spheres to finish that off. We can go ahead and do this, the power augmenter, which is really cool. And then, yeah, we're not going to be able to do this one, right?
Power augmenter
singularity
unlocked.
cells.
Summer sloops naturally harvest. Yes, harvest energy from distant sources and distribute it locally. The power augmenter supercharges summer sloops by feeding it local power, increasing its harvesting range and efficiency, and thus power output. Basically, the more power it's given, the more it provides.
Do not loop the loop organ. It will shred and tear and unravel the threads, many temples burned.
Good to know. That confirms that hypothesis.
I think that means you can't feed it into itself, which you can't do. But so we're not going to build it right now because I don't have a good spot for it. But when you go ahead and, I don't have enough summer sloops anyway. When you put it down, it gets you a 10% bonus. So if, let's say you're generating 1,000 power and you slap that thing down, it gives you 10%. I'm pretty sure it's 10%. So then instead of making 1,000, now you're making 1,100. And then later you can feed stuff into it and get like a 30% bonus or something. I don't remember. So that's all we can do on alien technology for now. We just need more Mercer spheres, and then that one we're not going to be doing for quite a while. Caterium. I should have everything here. So we've already got power poles Mark 1 and 2. So here's the Mark 3, which we just haven't really needed.
Power pole Mark III unlocked. It has significantly more power connections compared to the previous models.
Yeah, no big deal. I do want this. I've wanted that for a while. I just haven't unlocked it.
Priority power switch unlocked. This assists with power grid management by automatically powering down specified connections when a grid failure is imminent. Use it to prioritize power for the most important infrastructure.
So you feed power to it and it outputs, I guess it has 2 outputs, A and B. Well, how do you feed power in? Shouldn't it? It has to have 3 to be able to prioritize, right? Unless it just shuts down. I don't remember how it works. But basically, we want it for the coal power plant area so that I always want the coal miners and the water extractors over there to run. So I would want them as the priority. And if there's not enough power to power the factory, shut the factory down, but keep the miners going. That way we keep generating power and it doesn't trip the grid. So that's that. And then the power pole Mark III, I don't really need to show that. Programmable splitter.
Programmable splitter unlocked. This upgrade to the smart splitter provides additional options to improve conveyor belt logistics.
So we already had the smart. Right, and we've been using the smart ones where we can set it. You can do any. You can pick a specific thing, or you can do overflow. This one is more confusing because you can add multiple things, right? So let's say, I already tore the other one down. Let's say the other one, I've got two things on a belt. I've got, concrete and iron plates, and I just want to kick the concrete off and let the iron plates go. Well, with this one, you can have multiple things go off, right? Instead of just one thing. I don't know if that's a good way to explain it. I haven't really had a need for it yet. Okay, I'm not going to make this yet because I need the rifle ammo, and that's a whole thing. And we can go ahead and do geothermal. There's a 7 or 13 or 17 or some number like that around the map where you can put down geothermal generators and get free power.
Geothermal generator unlocked. Geysers added to the object scanner. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. When life gives you deadly geothermal vents, run directly towards them and build generators. Use potentially lethal natural phenomena for your own benefit. It's the fix-it way.
And it's just a free power source. And, like some people, like on coal power, you might set up all the geothermals and use those to power the coal miners and the water extractors for the coal power. And then it's a guaranteed power. It's never going to shut down. So we can't finish Caterium without the rifle ammo. We can't finish alien technology without a bunch more Mercer spheres and that stuff, which we're nowhere near. We can go ahead and finish this off. Now, I have not made polymer resin yet, so I ran over to the oil area. You get it by feeding oil into a refinery and setting it to make fuel, and this is a byproduct. So I just set it up real quick just to get us some. So now we can make synthetic
Research completed.
fabric.
Polyester fabric recipe unlocked. Using polyethylene terephthalate, production of a lightweight and strong fabric can be automated. It has many of the properties of naturally sourced fabric and also amplifies body odor.
So synthetic power shards, again, we can't do this for a long time. So these three we cannot complete for quite a while. Okay, so now to quartz. The only thing left is the radar tower. Go ahead and unlock that. And this is pretty cool.
Radar tower unlocked. The tower reveals resource nodes and other useful information on the map in a set radius from its location.
Okay, and then sulfur. So I could possibly do this. I'd have to do a few things to get the turbo fuel recipe, but we're not doing fuel power yet anyway. All of these, or a lot of these, take the, what's this called? Smokeless powder. And like we would have to set up smokeless powder and then do all that stuff. And I actually have it over here on my sign I need a refinery for smokeless powder. So we're kind of done for research for now. We will need to get the smokeless powder and then get all this stuff. And then the other things are all just waiting on things I don't have access to. So that's all of the MAM research for now. That's all of the awesome shop until we get a bunch more tickets. I don't know why I still have so many more things in my inventory. Huh. Okay, give me a second here. Okay, that's a little better. Got rid of all that stuff. So what I've got here, we're going to go ahead and complete tier 6. So I've got all of these lined up. I'm not even going to tear it down. So I've got all these lined up. So what we've got left, if you remember, we haven't looked at this in several episodes. We got everything except tier 6, and we need all of these. So the first one is going to be the trains, which I've already selected. So it's going to get us basically the actual locomotive. It's going to get us freight cars. It's going to get us the track, the train station, which is where the locomotive stops, and then freight platforms and fluid freight platforms, which is where the freight cars stop. It's also going to get us an empty platform and hold on. All right. Sorry about that. FedEx came and they were knocking on the door. So you've also got empty platforms, empty platform with catwalk, and the buffer stop. The buffer stop goes at the end of the track. So empty platform, let's say you've got a train and you've got 6 cars on it and you want it to go to one stop and pick up 6 different items. So you'd have 6 freight platforms and they would all load the 6 cars. you want to go to a second stop and you only want to unload, let's say, the last 3 cars. You would put in a train station, 3 of the empty platforms, and then 3 freight platforms, and it would unload the last 3, and the 3 cars that parked at the empty platform wouldn't get unloaded. Does that make sense? So I've got everything I need for that. Can I do control? No. Okay.
Milestone reached. Trains are excellent for efficiently moving vast quantities of parts. Train logistics can be made more precise and complex with tools found in the railway signaling
Which, yeah,
milestone.
you're going to need
I
these.
listen to all my pioneers, often when they're not even aware of it. So due to popular demand, I have added a motivational message. Choo-choo mother.
That's new. Okay. I wasn't expecting that. Wow, Ada. So I got to wait 10 minutes. I got to wait 10 minutes for that. I guess I'll go through the other ones real quick. So yeah, if you only have 1 train, I don't think you need signals because it's not going to run into anything. As soon as you try to have 2 trains on a track, then you're going to need signals. So that's that. Pipeline Mark II, which will unlock after that. It just gets us the Mark II pipeline, just more flow. And the pump, which more flow and I believe higher head height. And then, of course, the Blueprint Designer Mark II, which we don't really need, but hey, cool. So I've got to sit and wait for that to come back. So I'm just going to, I guess, come back each time the thing returns. So while we're waiting on the first pod to come back, I thought I would show the radar tower real quick. So before, when you put it in the game, the higher you put it, the bigger its range. They changed that. Putting it higher doesn't actually increase its range, but let me lock the blueprint in here. The height of the tower, it scans out, and anything below that height it can see and unlock. If it's above that height, it won't unlock it. So for example, if I placed it on the ground and it wasn't as tall as this arch, it wouldn't unlock the top of the arch like on the map. Like you would have the fog of war still, like right there. You see that black spot because I've never been that high. So you still kind of want to place them high. It doesn't need to be this high, and I don't think it might have that kind of range. But so for example, right now when I look at the map, all I see are the markers I've placed, right? If I scan for a resource, they'll show up. Right? And then see how they're showing up, right? But then they're going to disappear in a minute. So the radar tower. Oh, and I got to get power up here too. All right, the pod's back, and I think I got this where I want it. So I'm going to put that there. Yeah, it's, there's a power through on the roof. I'm going to need, because it's actually over here now. I'm going to put that there, then try to come around. And yeah, this is the side you'll see. So we'll make it pop out a little bit more. And this power right here is still temporary, so that's fine. Hook that up. There you go. And I don't think, yeah, so it's telling you what it's found. There's 4 summer sloops, there's 19 slugs, and there's 3 hard drives within that circle. Then when we go to the map, you can see it reveals everything in that circle. And it did take out, it's just right there. So that's the edge of the circle. It's just right there. So yeah, we get to see all the nodes. We get to see, I'm pretty sure it tells you what they are too. Yeah, purity normal, purity pure. So that's cool. I can't remember. Can't remember if it does something else. I don't remember. All right, so we'll go ahead and do this. Send that one off.
Milestone reached. Train signals placed on train rails can control and improve train behavior. This helps to avoid
I've got enough room
events
for all
where
this.
multiple trains attempt to occupy the same physical location. For information related to earlier train events, please refer to your employee non-disclosure agreement.
So we will want to, you don't have to cover the map in radar towers, but it's nice to do that, especially, you know, like I'm trying to look for Mercer spheres, for example, right? And when I clicked on it, it showed me there were 4 summer sloops. It didn't show Mercer spheres. So then I can kind of go, oh, okay, I think I got all the Mercer spheres in this area. Okay, the pod's back. And I'm like, I thought I could see the thing. Yeah, so if you click on the radar tower, it gives you that same information to tell you, you know, what it detects in the area. And then it shows you the range, which you can use. So we're wasting a lot of it over the void here because of where we placed the tower. If the tower was up in here, we would cover more area, but you know, there's nothing over there tall, and I like it there. So now we'll come back in here. Oh, that's all for the other one. Send that off for our faster pipelines.
Milestone reached. Pipelines and pipeline pumps
Can I
can
put
now be
these in?
upgraded to Mark II.
No.
They are like Mark I, but better. Pipes seem to be objects of fascination to humans. In fact, there are reported instances of humans doing nothing but thinking about pipes for hours.
All right, back when this pod returns. Luckily, these have only been 5-minute pods. The first one was 10. Okay, this pod is back. We'll send that off. That completes tier 6.
Milestone reached. The Blueprint Mark II improves upon the Mark I in every dimension, except for the metaphysical ones. This improvement was made available due to complaints from pioneers about other pioneers not being capable of managing their space efficiently. We listen to pioneers, always.
Okay, and we've got everything we need for the space elevator. Now, I will say, so we needed 100 of the adaptive control units. We've only made like 140 of them in this whole time, so we just barely had enough. We needed 500 of the modular engines. The storage was basically full, but that's not that many. So we needed 500. I want to say there was like 700 or something in there. And then we needed 2,500 of these. This storage was completely full and the machine was shut off, but it took basically all of that storage. So we did have everything, but yeah, and here's the rest of them. We just barely. No, I should be able to just dismantle. Okay. Seal it. This is big. I haven't said anything in the space elevator in a long time.
Welcome to the Project Assembly Pioneer Progress presentation. Congratulations, the Phase 3 project part shipment is finally ready for delivery. On delivery, Phase 3 will be completed and the main body will be constructed. You should know how this works by now. You'll get access to tiers 7 and 8 in the hub.
Yes.
In fact, perhaps you should just go look at the technologies there yourself. It's all laid out so that even a monkey could understand it,
Hover
so you
pack's
should
what I
have no
want.
issues. Speaking of which, I don't think you need a reminder about project parts. Instead, I will be providing some interesting facts. Did you know the average pioneer succeeds at saving the day? Did you know the average pioneer knows how to optimize pipe throughput? Did you know the average pioneer stays late at work because they care about humanity? Anyway, I thought you might want to know more about your peers. Good luck in Phase 4.
Okay, here we go. Send it.
Phase 3 of Project Assembly completed. Fixit's predictions indicate pioneers should generally reach this point faster with above average results, but we should all adjust our expectations according to the situation. It is understandable. The pressure and complexity will only increase from here, so be sure to take on Phase 4 with efficiency and competence.
Okay, I think that's the end of the animation. All right. Yeah, and so you can tell, yeah, we need a lot of things, then we don't know what any of them are. Cool. That'd be a problem for many episodes from now. So let's go back over here and see what all we've got access to unlock now. So, why is tier 6 blinking? So bauxite, which is how you get aluminum. So aluminum's complicated because you've got to get several things and turn it into several things, but we're going to need aluminum. So we will be building an aluminum factory at some point. The hover pack, which basically, I don't want to say replaces the jetpack, because the hover pack, you need power. And if you're out and about in the world and there's no power, you're still going to use your jetpack. But building in the factory, the hover pack. And yeah, we need some aluminum, don't we? That's the alkyd sheets. So we'll probably have to set up a quick and basic aluminum production just because I want the hover pack right away. Mark 5 belts, which is great. That's 780 resources a minute. It's going to take some aluminum. The hazmat suit, which we need for being near radioactive things, which, by the way, in real life, that's not how that works exactly. Like, a little hazmat suit doesn't block radiation. It stops you from getting radioactive dust on you or breathing it in or something. So not quite right. And so then I think that's, nope, supercomputer, radio control unit, battery, sulfuric acid. That's one of the project parts, right? Is that the only one that's a project part? So you need sulfuric acid for some stuff. Tier 8, drones. So drones, we've got trucks, we've got trains. Well, we have conveyor belts, we have trucks, we have trains, and then there's drones. Drones are neat because you can just build a port and then anywhere else build a port and it'll just send things between those two spots with, you know, not having to do anything in between. Nuclear power, which we're nowhere near ready for. Advanced aluminum production, which we're nowhere near ready for. The miner Mark III, which is cool because now we can get more resources out of things. So that's great. And then particle enrichment, which gives you, it takes some of the nuclear stuff and then like really increases it and lets you do some things. So these are all very advanced things. I basically don't really care about any of this right now. And in fact, really all I'm worried, I think the Mark V belts would be good, and I want the hover pack, which means we'll have to get into some bauxite. So I do want to get the hover pack. I do want to get into the bauxite, but the first thing we're going to do, because if I come over here and look at my list, so we haven't done the top two, but we did the MAM, the shop, tier 6, space elevator. I want the hover pack. I do want to put a name, some kind of like logo or something up on the building. Tear down the old base and then some power towers. So let's go tear down the old base. I thought we'd take a little tour before we tear it down. So got some Z fighting there. That's better. So I said this a couple times in previous episodes. We're going to tear the whole old original factory down. I'm going to leave the foundations so we can see where it was. And we're going to keep, this was our little original bridge design, and then it switches in the building to the new design. And so this will still be here. So you'll kind of like see where the building was, which is, I just got an achievement for completing phase 3. Wasn't that like 5 minutes ago? Anyway, so the first floor down here, this is where we were making our biomass into biofuel. And I believe I still have, yeah, I've still got a bunch of solid biofuel. I need to get this out of here because I'm not going to throw it away. And then here's all the biomass burners. We're not going to need those. The next floor was for concrete. So this was our concrete production. And yeah, I had to like route stuff through. So things got tore down. The third floor was copper, I believe. Well, it's all empty now. Nope, this floor was iron. Okay. So this was the iron floor. Oh, there's still a bunch of screws in here. This floor must have been the copper. Yeah, so this was the copper. Wire, cable, and copper sheets. And then this floor was our advanced stuff. I think we were making modular frames and reinforced plates. Oh, and some smart plating. Yeah, because I had several of those. Yep. And then, of course, we had our hub originally sitting out here. So I'm going to tear the whole thing down, except, you know, we'll leave the very bottom foundation. But I just wanted to give a little tour first. And I'm just going to set up a bunch of storage containers and an awesome sink. And as I tear it down, we're just going to sink everything. There's nothing over here I care about, except I do want to save all the solid biofuel, because that took a long time to harvest all that. We're going to have to get rid of this guy. Go away. Sir. There he goes. Okay. Let me make some storage containers here, put down an awesome sink, and then we'll do a time lapse. Okay, I don't even think I need to do a time lapse. I just ran around and emptied literally all of the storage containers and all of the machines, and I've got them all down there feeding into the sink. So I should be able to tear this down really fast, because I shouldn't be able to, as long as I'm facing this way. And yeah, there's some conveyor belts with stuff on it, but I need more than 50 for dismantle. But like I was saying, as long as I'm facing this direction, I'm not going to tear. Well, actually, I take that back, because there are conveyors down in the bottom floor. I should actually be on this corner. Ah! Should be on this corner. And 50 is not a lot, is it? Well, but then there's going to be conveyors. Yeah, maybe I should have done a time lapse. Maybe I should have. I don't want to accidentally delete the good stuff that's downstairs, and I'm getting through different floors. I can't see anything that I shouldn't delete right now. This is kind of a mess. It looks like a bomb went off in here. And I can't reach the space elevator, so... Yeah, now I'm thinking I definitely should have done the time lapse, but now it's kind of too late because I'm halfway done. I can't believe how quickly 50 gets hit. Yeah, this is yeah, I don't want to delete this conveyor down here. Or these. Which I don't think I have yet. Apparently that wire was important. There we go. Oopsies. Yeah, I was just in my mind. I'm like, oh, all I do is just select everything and delete it. And now it's like, oh, well, except that, yeah, the stuff that runs through the lower floors, that's actually really important. And I didn't really expect to leave behind all these little floating things. Let me, yeah, I mean, I've deleted more than half of it, but I need to kind of be delicate here. So let me come back. Yeah, because I don't want to set up the time lapse. It's going to be like a 10-second time lapse. Let me just come back when I've got more of this deleted. Okay, I think I got enough tore down now. We can finish this off real quick. So we're going to leave the foundation. We're going to tear down the wall. I'm going to tear that down and that one down. And each one of those a long time ago, the base, I had switched to concrete, and I didn't switch the rest of the textures because I knew I was going to leave those. The same thing with this. Right, so I'm going to leave these things. Yeah, we should probably get rid of the grass that's sticking through them. Clean those up a little bit. Kind of need to be on the outside to do this. And just a little bit more. I didn't switch that one. And I guess these should be concrete as well. And get rid of some more bushes. I missed this one. I don't know why we have so many different grids there, but whatever. Okay, I think that's it. So we've still got the copper. Or no, those are 2 impure irons. We still got those coming across, and they're powered, and they go across their little bridge. The original bridge is there, and then it switches to the new bridge. I've got to wait. These 2 containers here have the solid biofuel and some biomass, and then all of these contain everything from this building. I did get 2 power shards and a Mercer sphere out of it, but yeah, that one's that. Yeah, and then every single other one is full. And I could have hooked them up to more awesome sinks, but whatever. I'm not in like a super big hurry. They can just sit here and empty themselves out at their leisure. And then when we come back, And these are empty. I just got to tear these down and the sink down. I need to move the solid biofuel. And I think everything else is good. Yeah, so there you go. Oh, wait. Nope, saw one more thing. Actually, I just saw another thing. Do that. Tear this ramp down. And yeah, probably this one should be concrete as well. There you go. It's kind of sad. It's I mean, it's not too sad, but like it's very nostalgic. That was in February, and this is July. So yeah, it's been almost 6 months, and now this factory hasn't done anything in months and months. But hey, all right, back in a minute. So looking at our list, we did the old base. We got to do power towers. We did the MAM, the shop, tier 6, the space elevator. That's going to need aluminum, which is going to take a bit. The name on the building's on the list. I don't even know how I'm going to do it yet, so it's just on the list. So let's go ahead and get rid of that one. MAM shop T6 space elevator. Okay, so power towers. What am I talking about? Well, so these power towers feed power to the temporary oil thing. And if we look at future episodes, trains, this control building, the oil base. So I want to go over there and tear all that down and build an actual oil base. I want a battery storage facility somewhere, like a bunch of, not the little batteries, but the batteries that to hook up to the grid. And then of course we want to get to rocket fuel. So the name on the building could go with that, but the power towers, I want the coal area to use power towers to come over to here. I want it to come into our control building, into our power room, and then I want to send power to the oil base, and I want to send power to this base, and I want to send power to wherever. And so I want to run power towers basically right next to that, down to there, and then in a straight line to the coal area, which will bring power in. Yeah, it's not needed yet, but we're going to need it. And it's, you know, it's something I can do, and it has nothing to do with building a giant building. So I need to figure out, though, I know I'm going to put one next to that, and I'm going to go over, but then I want to try to get them all in a straight line coming down. So give me a few to figure that out. All right, so I went back. I basically copied the blueprint of the other power tower, and I moved it over until they were just touching, and then I went 3 more. And so it's running parallel with this one. So then I came over here, and the whole idea is you want this tower to be turned halfway, right? If you're going, let's say you're going west, and then at this tower, you're going to go north. You want to go this middle tower here, the one on the corner, you want it to go northwest. You want it to be halfway. So I cloned this tower. I pushed it over until it was touching and went 3 more over. And then I spun it, and I spun it exactly towards the coal power. So, and you can see there's a finished one here and there's a blueprint. So the finished one is aimed at the new line. And then I cloned it and went down and put another one there. So that is the line that wants to go that way. That's not where that tower goes. Now I'm trying to find halfway. So these lines are going west. So we're going west. And then from this one, we're going almost north. That's north. We're going a little bit off. So what I want to do, I want to be about there. I think that's right. I think that's about halfway. So if we, and I can't see it, it's right in my way. And then we try to connect to that one. Yeah, what we want to see, let's say that looks pretty good. But you don't want this one to be lined up with this, or you don't want it to be lined up with that. You want it to be about halfway. So that's that. The only issue is The only issue is I don't know how far I can put these. So what I need to do before I do more blueprints is I need to run this way with this thing. That doesn't necessarily matter, but I need to figure out, okay, where can I go to before the line's too long? And then I need to put my blueprint there. So we're just short of that, which is kind of unfortunate. It would be awesome to get up on this. I definitely don't want to be right here, because the issue is when I go back this way, it's going to be another low area down here. And then the wire's too long, right? I want to have a tower there. So it's going to let me put it there. See, so yeah, the wires are too low. So I don't like that. I want that tower to be back a little bit. I tried to slide to speed up and I was going uphill. Yeah, and I definitely don't like this. I want this tower to be here. So we'll have to put an intermediate tower halfway. That's just how it's going to have to be. But let me go ahead and yeah, let me figure out exactly where the towers are going to go. All right, so I've got the regular ones down. So I'm kind of at a high point there. I'm at a high point there. I'm at a high point there. Those all easily connect. And then that'll go back to the coal. Then to get from here to there is too far. So we'll have to have a middle one. So I'm thinking maybe somewhere in here's the middle. So I just need to clone this one because this tower won't be here. We're going to clone this tower. And this is kind of the thing where I want them to line up, which is a bit of a pain because they don't quite line up how you would want when you bring the blueprint in. Where are we at here? And sometimes the blueprint isn't exactly perfect, so I could have it like backwards too. Yeah, because now I think I've got it. Now I think I'm lined up with it. So what I need to do is just start going this way to where I think the middle tower is going to be. I think that's pretty good. Probably can lower it a bit. So we're going to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to hook you up to there. Yep. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to clone this blueprint. Try to get it to snap and see how it snaps at a totally different angle. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I want them to be exactly in a straight line. So we should be able to go up onto the top of that hill near where that tower is. Place this up there, get rid of that tower, and then I'm just going to repeat this process a few more times. But this way they should all be nice and in a straight line. I think that's pretty good for out of the ground. Maybe a little bit farther back from the edge. Okay. Yeah, so let me just do this a couple more times and then I'll have the power up there. Now we can't have a bunch of trees around the power lines. That's dangerous. Yeah, that looks better. All right, almost done. So it didn't quite line up perfectly. I mean, you know, I would have had to like test it out and go like a couple degrees. I don't really care that much, but so this one's here. It's aimed that way, but the kind of the power plant's there, so I can pull power off anywhere. I could pull power off this end. So I'm kind of thinking I want to be, if I'm going this way, but I want the power to go that way, I'm going to go like maybe that way or this way. Maybe like that. Maybe that's about halfway. I'm far enough back from the ledge. Could probably go down a little bit. Of course, we got some more trees in the way. And we don't want this stuff underneath. It might grow up the tower. And I'm not sure. God, I can't even see through here. So it does look like we need to remove some trees. I mean, that one's probably okay, but you know, trees do grow. We definitely don't want anything right in the right of way here. That one's probably okay, but let's get rid of it. Got to maintain the right of way under the power line. I can't even tell where exactly I've thrown stuff and okay. Will that take this bush out? Get rid of a little bit more here. How are we looking? I'm sure that tree's fine. Okay. So then it's just a matter of how exactly I connect it. Because technically I could just go from that power line to here to the tower. Which it does seem funny. I do wish... Look, it's a factory building game, okay? I get it. It's not like an everything simulator. You've given me these giant towers with these two lines that, you know, we assume are very high voltage and they can go long distance, and that's great. But then it just like, okay, now to connect locally, you just do that. It's like, but this doesn't connect to that. I want... And I don't really expect them to make this because there's very few people that would want this, but I want something where when I do this, it takes two power lines from the top down, but instead of it being a tower, it's a little thing on the ground, like a little substation or something that has the two lines going up to that and then the substation, right? And then you come out of the substation and then connect locally. So I'm thinking I'm going to put maybe another tower here. I need to get rid of that one too. Yeah, let me figure this out. All right, I put another tower there and then I just connected that with the little line. I suppose I could technically make exactly what I want. I could take and make a well, no, I can't make a blueprint because I think this thing, no, this thing is not too tall for the blueprint maker because that's how I made a blueprint. So I would have to take and put this in. Now you can't run it down through the blueprint, so you wouldn't be able to do this, but essentially you would make a blueprint something like this, and then you would build a little building around it, and you could have the little fake power connectors on the outside, you know, like the wall power connectors. Let's say there's a wall here, and I've got a fake power connector and a fake power connector, and it's right lined up with these so that you know the wire is going to end up like clipping through. So essentially you would make a little blueprint that looks like a little transformer building and this thing would be in it, and then you would just sink the blueprint all the way down into the ground. So basically the power tower is just in there to give you the 2 power lines coming down into your little thing. And then I guess you would have a power line going from down there up, and then that would lead out. Yeah, so I could technically make what I want. I'll add that to my list of things to do. Well, anyways, for now, that's hooked up. And let's go ahead and ride back. And I don't know why I cared so much about making it straight, but I just did. Okay, come on now. Because now we can go, theoretically, in a perfectly straight line. And I don't know why that matters to me, but I wanted them in a perfectly straight line. Because I think the other one kind of is, because it's the same distance away from the bridge for a little bit. So, all right, well, we got that done. I wanted to unlock the hover pack. That was the only other thing I really wanted to do, because, you know, I want to do the name up there, but I don't even know how I'm going to do that. But I wanted to unlock the hover pack, but that's going to require some basic aluminum setup, which, ooh, I guess that was too sharp of a turn, huh? Yeah, it is. It's too sharp of a turn. Interesting. Okay, well, we don't ride the power lines that often, but anyways, we're gonna have to do that in the next episode, set up a really basic aluminum thing just so I can get the hover pack. And then the next main thing I don't want to start aluminum production, and I don't even want to do my oil redo yet. I actually want to do trains next. So next episode, we'll just get a basic aluminum production up and running just to get the hover pack, and then we'll start on trains. See you guys next time.